everyone, it's Seth Rudetsky, and I'm here with Keala. Settle.
Oh, hi.
Hey. Okay, Toner nominee for Hands and a Hard Body, brava. However, now Les Mis playing the bitchy-ass Madame Thenardier. First thing Keala told me is that she was not familiar really with the score. Well, you were sort of familiar with the score, but you just weren't, you didn't have it memorized.
There were a couple songs I knew at karaoke bars, and that was the potty break of karaoke. It's like if somebody got up and sang, you know, On My Own in No Man's Land, Kansas, it was like, well, it's time to pee. And then come back in and
wait, so it wasn't even like you would sing them? You
no.
Just,
But she says, I didn't even know the words, but the second you hear, dun, 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 you're all, well, it's time to go to the bathroom and then just come back. I didn't even know the words.
What she means, Mr. McIntosh, is she's a big fan of the show.
I didn't know it. Wait a
My
minute, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't
This is
like that.
founded. The point is, she said that it began like opera, where when you show up the first day of rehearsal, you're apparently supposed to have the whole score memorized, but no one told you. Am I correct in my assumption?
Yeah, you are. We showed up, and the rest of the company knew the show, except the leads. And so we all sat in the back and went, well, this may be our last day at work.
So Keala was like, here's all I know at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I don't know all the lyrics. At the end of the day, I'm still trying.
Okay, but they're literally going through it. So, okay, so the ensemble's reaction, they're like, oh, we'll help you.
No. It was not.
What was their reaction?
It was, well, we'll sing the song again. So we were like, well, we just kind of like whispered underneath and kept just quickly turning pages.
Why did nobody plink out the notes and be like, here's how it goes?
Because it's such a popular show, I think, and because probably 5/8 of the company that they had hired had already done it before. And we were the 1% that didn't know everything, so we kind of, thank the Lord we have like, you know, sight singing skills and can actually point it out.
Regardless, Keala said that the entire company was glaring at the leads, and Keala, as you termed it,
musical bullying.
Or Broadway bullying. Be
Right.
squared.
Well, let's be real.
But the point is, it's all good. It actually it gets better.
It does.
.com.
Turns out.
My point is, I thought Keala was mozzing as Madame Thenardier because she decided to opt up the octave. So I want to just first show you an example of what Keala does in the show. I was riveted in the audience. By the way, am I the only person that's noticed that? I texted you immediately during audition, and I was like, brava, up the octave.
No, you were the first person that actually used the proper nomenclature of saying up the octave.
Okay.
Everybody else would go, oh my gosh, you sang so high. But you literally said, you took it up the octave, and I went, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the musician of the century.
So here's what she actually sings in the show. What a cruel trick. 5, 6, 7.
What a cruel trick of nature. Let it be with such a louse. God knows how it must have living with this master in the house.
Literally up the octave. 8 shows a week. So anyway, she's so amazing as Madame Thenardier. My question is, was that the only role you coveted, or were you like, ooh, I want to play some of the other women in the show?
That was actually the only role I didn't covet. I mean, I walked in with so much material. I mean, I first went in with Fantine's material.
Wait, I totally want Keala to recreate our audition, and you did one of your signature spins on it. You made it your own.
Absolutely, because again, I'm not familiar with, you know, the music, but I did want to play that role and give it the meat that I thought it required.
Yeah.
So
well, your signature. Let's say your signature. Right. Why don't we just do from the end? Now life has killed.
Absolutely. Now life has killed a dream. I dreamed.
Yeah. Now, call back?
Nothing.
All right. Well, what about like ingenue? Have you ever do an ingenue? Well, I guess Trace was an ingenue. Would you want to be an ingenue?
Really? That's kind of it's an obvious. I am an ingenue. I've been in many auditions many times for, I mean, I was always up for Kelly O'Hara's role in Regis of Madison County, but they looked elsewhere, which is fine.
Well, you don't look Italian. What about, why don't we try, let's hear what your Cosette audition was, because I literally happen to have Cosette.
Oh, sure.
Right here.
And I worked really hard on that because I know that they wanted kind of like a higher pitched timbre in that. So.
And also Marius, he has to find you.
Absolutely.
He's got to find you.
And I don't want him to be looking all over the stage because he can't see me, he can't hear me, so I had to work really hard on that.
Make it clear where you are.
Oh, for sure.
What about, in my life, I'm no longer alone?
In my life, I'm no longer alone. Now the love of my life is so near. Find me now.
because up the octave makes sense.
Nothing. And
He
again,
can't find you if you're whispering.
It doesn't matter. They didn't. They just pushed
You made the
me
final three.
aside.
Final three. You didn't make the final three?
No.
All right. I just happen to have.
This, by the way, this is
Yeah.
really gut wrenching for me. This is.
I
really,
know
really
to make you
deep.
go through it
I don't
again,
wanna
but I
go
think
here,
my
but
audience needs to know how unfair it is. Casting is unfair.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think why don't we just do? Because you did tell me you went in for Eponine, and
Well.
I think we happen to have a guy. Why don't we have this? We have a guy here. Why don't we have him play Marius, and you could just do the end of the scene where you're kind of in his arms.
Who?
This guy here. So this is my friend Roberto.
Close.
Okay, so why don't you do the ending scene where she's dying? Just kind of hold her in your arms on the floor. So just kind of cradle. So okay, I'll just do the
Are you
death
familiar
scene.
with the show?
I'll pause it.
Just
Okay.
on the floor, please.
Fine.
Oh, yeah. Good ear. It's a good ear.
This is awkward. I've never met him before.
It doesn't matter. He's non-equity. Just don't worry about it. So you on the floor, sir. You're the reader, and so why don't you, Keala, just and you will keep me close. That really, and you. I assume you added your signature spin at the audition, right?
Well, yes.
Okay.
And of course, at the time, the reader that I had knew all of the show, had done it numerous times in dozens of countries. So hopefully, you'll
Okay,
be
you will
good.
keep me close.
No pressure.
Here we go. 1, 2, and your death scene.
And rain will make the flowers grow.
And what? And did you get bus and truck at least?
Nothing.
Okay, well, that's up. All right, see ya.
Thanks.